ani danse kwe wache sego hello. Nimki benoje kapisi samat napisis indigenous maingando dem kajonang and donjaba. Hello, my English name is Thieland Kiknaswe. I'm Cree and Potawatomi from Wapul Island First Nation, Kajonang Territory. I'm 18 years old and I was born and raised in Algonquin Territory in Ottawa, Ontario, Canada. Welcome to the Gord Downie and Chanie Wenjack Fun Indigenous History Month special, the final event. This year's themes are hope, unity, and celebration. So join us in celebrating the unique cultures, traditions, and contributions of Indigenous peoples of Canada. Today's episode will feature some of the highlights from our Indigenous History Month specials from the regions of BC, James Bay, and Quebec. What makes us special as Indigenous peoples is that we come from so many different parts of Turtle Island, and we each have our own customs, beliefs, and ways of living. This being said, I want to acknowledge that all the land on which we are able to gather on and reside on is Indigenous lands. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for joining the Gord Downie and Chanie Wenjack Fund to celebrate National Indigenous History Month.
Our digital events this year carried the themes of hope, unity, and celebration.
We are so grateful to have you join us. DWF is proud to present these events and bring Indigenous and non-Indigenous people together.
And to learn the history of Indigenous people and to share and celebrate Indigenous history, knowledge, and talent.
We carry on this work all year through DWF's programs, including Legacy Schools, Legacy Spaces, and the Artist Ambassador Program, and events such as Secret Path Week and Walk for Wenjack.
Let me also tell you that we are grateful to have you join us. We think that National Indigenous History Month is an opportunity for everyone to learn a little bit more about their country and its deep, deep history.
My Uncle Chanie's story is now being told to over 2,000 schools across Canada, and we are honoring his legacy when we recognize and honor the Indigenous peoples of Turtle Island. Miigwech gawichushiank, gapimu satamang. Thank you for walking this journey with us.
Take care, and I hope you enjoy this month.
Hello, everyone. It is my absolute pleasure to be here with you today for this final event during National Indigenous History Month on behalf of TD Bank Group. I'm Doris Bear, Vice President, Indigenous Banking at TD, and I am situated on the traditional, ancestral, unceded territory of the Musqueam people. TD is truly proud to once again sponsor the Gord Downie and Chanie Wenjack Fund's National Indigenous History Month event. I would like to start by remembering all of the children of the residential school system who were taken from their families, subjected to unthinkable treatment, and stripped of their Indigenous culture. Together, we mourn the 215 children whose remains were found at the former Kamloops Indian Residential School on Kamloops Tishuepmo, and all of those whose lives were cut short as a result of residential schools. This National Indigenous History Month, there is heightened importance to build awareness, educate all Canadians, and sit with the truth about the past. Events such as today's give us the opportunity to honor the unique histories, cultures, contributions, and achievements of Indigenous peoples. By participating in these events, we are not only celebrating Indigenous peoples, but also actively contributing to establishing unity between all people in Canada, an important step on our collective journey toward reconciliation. Personally, it gives me hope for building a brighter future. And at TD, we share that same vision, and it's why we actively support the Truth and Reconciliation Commission's call to corporate Canada. We strongly believe that building a brighter future is a shared responsibility, both inside and outside of the bank. Through the TD Ready commitment, by working with organizations like the Gord Downie and Chanie Wenjack Fund, together we can all help build a more inclusive tomorrow for Canada. So, as National Indigenous History Month comes to a close, we are reminded that we must continue to recognize the history, diversity, and contributions of First Nations, Métis, and Inuit communities. But we also need to continue educating, raising awareness, and building connections as we create a path toward reconciliation. Thank you.
The 215 pledge was originally in response to the 215 children buried at the site of the former Kamloops Indian Residential School. Since that time, we've uncovered other unmarked graves in different parts of Canada, and expect that as we start to focus our efforts in uncovering graves at other residential school sites, that this number will continue to grow. The Downie Wenjack Fund is really focused on helping to bring together Canadians, particularly non-Indigenous Canadians, through this pledge to help them prepare themselves to engage with Indigenous communities, families, and individuals that have been affected by residential schools. There's 5 asks for non-Indigenous Canadians to help them prepare for these conversations, in the spirit of what DWF has done for years, bringing together Indigenous and non-Indigenous Canadians to have discussions about this history. The first ask for non-Indigenous Canadians is to have them deny that these narratives were isolated events. We've known since the Truth and Reconciliation Commission's final report that lost children were found at many residential school sites across Canada. We expect, as we start to unpack the uncovering of these unmarked graves, that we will find many of these children. The second ask is that, as a non-Indigenous Canadian, you embrace the feelings that you have in helping to build momentum towards justice, particularly feelings of being upset or angry at a system that created this situation for these children. The third ask is that the search for undocumented grave sites across Canada has your support, and that you speak up that this is an important thing that needs to be done. The fourth ask is that you call for these families to be reunited with the remains of loved ones. And the fifth, and probably the most important ask, is that as you engage with residential school survivors and the families and communities that have been affected by residential schools, that you accept the experiences that these individuals and communities have, and that you let their truth stand. You know, as a DWF board member for the past few years, I've observed the power of having non-Indigenous Canadians and Indigenous Canadians join together in having these conversations. Just like Gord Downie and the Wenjack family came together through the story of Chanie, I believe that what has happened to these 215 children in Kamloops and other children that will be found as we search across Canada at residential school sites will help us to revisit those conversations that we had immediately after the ending of the Truth and Reconciliation Commission and continue our walking together on the path to reconciliation.
Shine bright, feel strong. We are giants in our heart.
For each event this month, we started with words from our elders. The importance of honoring our elders is that within our communities, elders hold a significant and special role that includes passing down teachings and ways of knowing, as well as uplifting young people to grow into roles that they were put on this earth to fulfill. Thank you to all of our elders for everything that you do.
Shine bright, feel strong. I left your house this morning about 9:15. Could have been the Willie Nelson, could have been the wine. When I left your house this morning, just a little after 9. It was in Botpagen where I saw the constellations reveal themselves one star at a time. Yeah. Drove back to town this morning with working on my mind. I thought of maybe quitting, thought of leaving it behind. Went back to bed this morning, and as I'm pulling down the blinds, yeah, the sky was dull and hypothetical and falling one cloud at a time. That night in Toronto, with its checkerboard floors, riding on horseback and keeping order restored till the men they couldn't hang stepped to the mic and sang, and their voices rang with that Aryan twang. Got to your house this morning just a little after 9. In the middle of that riot, couldn't get you off my mind. So I'm at your house this morning just a little after 9, 'cause it was in Botcagen where I saw the constellations reveal themselves one star at a time. Gonna ask them what then Gord Downie, Chanie, Wenjack, Gord Downie, the man who walks among the stars. We say, we know where you are. Never been so ready, never been so ready to see the change, to feel the change, here and now, steady and far, in the space and time, you and me and you, we got to share and love.
I had the opportunity a few years back. I was chief of the Temiskaming First Nation here, and we meet twice a year, different parts of the country. But this one time we met in Ottawa. Usually around December we would meet in Ottawa, and that's when Gord Downie got his spirit name. And I had the opportunity to be. I was only like about three rows back, and it's just like when something really nice or good's gonna happen, you can just feel it in the air. This is the kind of feeling I had when they called up Gord. They wanted to honor Gord in whichever way at that time. I guess that the elder had a vision about Gord in his name, walking with the stars. In part of that ceremony that they did, they put this blanket wrapped Gord up in this blanket, and there's so many different versions and ceremonies that involve a blanket wrapping, especially from an elder. It's warming that person's spirit, and right away as soon as he did that, you could see Gord just overwhelmed with love. He starts crying. You can see the tears, and you know, it's such a very beautiful time. You know, like I said earlier, I could just tell something beautiful is going to happen. There's a lot of our ceremonies, when we go to these ceremonies, this is what happens. You can feel this good feeling, like something's happening, and that's all these good spirits. Because there's all different chiefs, regional chiefs, and they bring in their elders. There's elders from across the country here. And we're all here to try to do good for our people, whether across the country, whether they need support from this side to the other side. So it was very special to be there, and I always will remember that. And you know, and Gord is just like this drum, as what it's made for. It's made for love, honor, respect, and generosity. That's our four main teachings that we share within across Turtle Island, that Native people share. You know, it's that heartbeat is around the world. Every nation has a drum, like I was saying, and it makes you feel good. And that's what Gord Downie did in a different way. And you know, and another way he was bringing awareness to people of the smallest, well, one of the biggest things, but there's so many different things there that I could go on about, but it was residential school. And how that affected us, you know, and how it oppressed us. There's so many horror stories about that, you know. I can, like my mom, she's a residential school survivor as well. But I don't want to get into all those stories and what's that about. I just, you know, what Gord was here to do was just to give a little bit of awareness to people of and he did it in such a good, nice way. And that's what this is about. Minopamat is when we say living the good life, and that's what this drum does. It shares all those good teachings. So I just want to share a little bit about that and my experience, you know, being there during Gord's ceremony, walking with the stars. I want to sing a little song honor for that. Miigwech Gord, miigwech to Gord's family, to continuing on his legacy and all the goodness you guys have to share. And you know, just want to say miigwech for asking me to be part of this. Aho.
Hot squad Sanoya, Skohamish Aslahan Okomeok, Oreen Askew, Queen Sna, Chinua, DJ Osho. Hello everyone, my name is Oreen Askew, also known as DJ Osho, and I'm Afro-Indigenous from the Squamish Nation in Vancouver, British Columbia. My father's African American from Gary, Indiana, and my mom, my beautiful mother, is from the Squamish Nation. I'm here today to wish everyone a happy Pride Month. It's been an amazing month here in Vancouver, and it's just here to celebrate our two-spirited people. And I'm two-spirited, I forgot to add that, but I'm two-spirited, and something that's so interesting about saying that you're two-spirited is liberating, very liberating, but I think it's something that's changing, and I get asked a lot what the definition is of two-spirited, and my answer is my definition of two-spirited is because of what I identify as, and that's that I have a male, masculine spirit and a feminine spirit, and they're inside of me. But I've been talking to so many youth lately who are teaching me that some of them identify with Two-Spirit, but some of them identify as indigiqueer. So there's not just this one definition along the spectrum. It's forever changing, and I'm so grateful to the young people for teaching me. They call me Auntie Osho, and we're living in an incredible time where change is just happening. Like, I can't even put into words, but I'm just so proud of our youth. And in my nation, we have youth as young as 10 saying that they're two-spirited, which I think is incredible. They're 20 years ahead of me, because I wish when I was that young, I was able to say that and that was okay. And that's the message that I want to get out there, is that it's okay for people as young as 10 to say that, because it can change. It's not like you identify as one letter or a few acronyms and then that's what you are for the rest of your life. It can change. You can go through every letter every day of the week if you wanted to. And that's what we need to understand and try to wrap our heads around. And that's okay if we don't have the definitions correct. They're changing. They're interchangeable. And right now in 2021, it's an amazing time to learn and to educate and to love, because we're here and we're queer, whatever you identify as, and it's okay. So I want to wish everybody a happy Pride from DJ Osho. So thank you. Osi.
We are so glad you're joining us today. Together, we are learning, growing, and celebrating Indigenous peoples across Turtle Island. Here, I want to share a teaching with you, and this was a teaching that I was taught at a young age. So, did you know that I've been singing and dancing even before I was born? Okay, here's how it goes. So, when our babies have our first cry, that's the first song that they sing. And so, I always explain that I've been singing since the first day I was born. Now, for the dancing portion. So, when our life carriers feel those kicks, those are our first dance moves as babies. I think that's such a beautiful thing, and I just wanted to share that with you. Have a great day.
Shine bright, feel strong.
Hey, hello. My name is Beatrice Deer. I'm from Huaktak, Nunavik, but currently living in Montreal. I'm Inuk and part Mohawk. I sing in my language, which is Inuktitut, because that's my mother tongue and that's the most I'm comfortable with expressing myself. Culture, language is very important to me because as Indigenous people, colonizers attempted to erase our identity, and it's very important to keep our culture and identity alive, because we're lost if we don't know who we are. This next song I'm going to sing is called Nunaga. Nunaga means my land. This song is like a poem about the beauty of my land, how in the summertime when the sun is setting, the sky sometimes turns red, and the water in front can look like a mirror when there's no wind, and it's completely quiet and peaceful. There's no sound, and how just very calming it is. And when the snow comes, everything turns white, and everything bad seems to be covered by the white snow. And then when spring comes, that's when the small birds come back and the little plants start growing again, and that's the cycle of life. So this is called Nunaga. Thank you so much, Gord Downie and Chanie Wenjack Fund. It was a pleasure playing for you. Take care. Tsune.
Shine bright, feel strong.
When Chanie passed, I didn't want his death to be in vain. I wanted something, I wanted somebody to notice that he was gone. I wanted his story told. And I think it has come to full circle with having his story told. And so many children to embrace that story, to really take it to heart and say, you know, I feel my heart aches for you in their letters. That makes me know that these kids feel. And once they are like that, they carry on to do the action part of life once they feel. And so many of them have gone to do a lot of stuff in their schools and telling the story. They don't have to be told to tell the story. They go ahead and tell the story to their parents. You know, it's something that that children just automatically do. They tell the story when they hear something, especially something that touches their heart. They'll tell it, you know. And these ones I always call, you know, the little broadcasters, and they're doing a good job. And I'm glad that you know that they are on my side, you know, the children, and it gives me it makes me proud that they've done their part, and they still do their part.
Gord Downie challenged all Canadians to do something.
Do something to raise awareness.
Do something to educate yourself
and others about the history and lives of Indigenous people.
Do something that improves the relationship between Indigenous and non-Indigenous people.
Reconciliation actions are the answer to Gord's call, recognizing that change starts with each of us.
These can be one big action involving the whole community,
or small actions that help to create daily change, one step at a time.
Took some time to get you here. Looking back, we feel the tears. We remember what we gave. Letting go of all your fears. Thankful for 1,000 years. Courage in our DNA. Courage in our DNA. Shine bright, feel strong. We are giants in our heart. Shine bright, feel strong. We are giants in our heart. Engine summer, we run it.
Hey, what's cooking, everybody? It's DJ Cookum here, coming at you from the beautiful lands of the Musqueam, Squamish, and Tsleil-Waututh. I am so honored to be able to work and live in this beautiful territory. I am Nakota Sioux and Dene from the Alexis Nakota Sioux Nation and Cold Lake First Nations. I am so proud to be Indigenous. It is so important to be proud of who you are. As Indigenous people, we've come such a long way. You know, they tried to wipe us out, but we're still here. There's so much to be proud of. And if you didn't get the chance to grow up around your land or your culture, just do the best you can to learn, because no matter what, that is who you are, that is where you come from, and that is where your ancestors are from. You know that saying, what breaks us makes us stronger? We are beautiful people. We are rich in culture, family values, and traditions. We are capable of accomplishing anything we put our minds to. We are DJs, we are filmmakers, we are artists, we are doctors, lawyers, and business owners. We are beautiful. We are strong and resilient. We are the First Nations people. Happy National Indigenous History Month. Much love to everybody. I hope you are all staying safe and staying proud of who you are.
Hi, I'm Dr. Matt Falwell. I'm a radiation oncologist and Chief of Oncology for the Simcoe-Muskoka Regional Cancer Program. A little over a year ago, we began the process to bring a Downie Wenjack legacy space to the Royal Victoria Regional Health Centre. The space, set to open in June, was generously supported by my fellow physicians and their families. We are proud to partner with our local Indigenous community to build the first Downie Wenjack legacy space in a public healthcare setting. Serving one of the largest Indigenous populations in Ontario, we feel it's so important to be able to tell their story. A legacy space will supplement our staff and patient education programs and help tell the story of the residential school system in Canada. We're proud to partner with the Downie Wenjack Fund in sharing this important message. Thank you.
Hekshgwen, hello everyone. My artist name is Sacred. My English name is Echo Alec. I am from the Inuk Nation. Today I'm sharing a song and video with you called Resistance, and this is a journey through understanding my own intergenerational trauma and healing. My father is a residential school survivor, and I am a cycle breaker for my 2 young sons. This video was really an opportunity, as I did it through the pandemic, to bring in my communities virtually. So you will see community members wearing orange shirts and raising their fists as a way of both honoring and acknowledging residential school survivors and reclaiming our own strength. I hope that it is educational. I hope that you learn from it and you find some empowerment through it. Kukstem, all my relations.
Provided, though at first we might resist it. Gifted with vision on a mission, reconciliation, peace between our nations, connection to the land and ourselves is the final destination. There's a dark history we hold, the children of our grandparents ripped from their homes, whipped on the wrist for speaking their language, caged in stone structures, forced to pray to the priests who raped them, thrown a colonial name, raised with hatred for the system. Mom and dad were provided fire, water, and the culture faded. Oh, we're lost, but not wandering far. Broken homes, not broken spirits, we are the resistance. Oh, we're lost, but not wandering far. Broken homes, not broken spirits, we are the resistance. Generations of natives lost the language of the land, rebranded and banned our reservations, put poison in our bodies and watch us lose our minds. Many young ones lost their lives inside the place they said would teach us to read and write. The ones who survived grew into broken adults, unable to cope with everyday life, unable to parent from the gap left inside them, endangered and angered. Little did they know they were raising a new generation of babies born to be warriors, protectors, and culture connectors. We are the descendants of genocide survivors. Strongest of the strongest, ultimate willpower. Strongest of the strongest, ultimate willpower. Oh, we're lost, but not wandering far. Broken homes, not broken spirits, we are the resistance.
Every child matters.
Oh, we're lost, but not wandering far. Broken homes, not broken spirits, we are the resistance. We are guided by our bodies, reconnecting in ancient ways. I walk the land to gather medicine. I'm understanding the plants and trees. I sing our songs on the water as the waves carry me. I ask for guidance from my ancestors. Here I feel their energy. My hands reach to create. Through culture and art I find my way. My body craves to dance. I hear the chanting of my people. My feet feel the earth. My heart beats to the drum as I become one with my spirit. To heal is to nurture, forgive and let go. To heal is to move forward, find peace with your soul. To heal is to be free, dream, be, believe, and know you are more. To heal is to love and love again until love is all you know. How we're lost, but not wandering far. Broken homes, not broken spirits, we are the resistance. How we're lost, but not wandering far. Broken homes, not broken spirits, we are the resistance.
I'm still here. I'll be here for as long as I can be to help any survivors out there from the residential school issue.
Thank you so much for joining us for the DWF Indigenous History Month final event. We all have a role to play in reconciliation. Subscribe to the DWF newsletter and follow on socials @Downie Wenjack to continue the conversation. Do something.